Hi, good evening. It's Wednesday Night Live with Nicole. I am Nicole of Equally Creative by Nicole, and you can find me here on Wednesday nights at 7. And I hope you enjoy what I have to offer tonight. This will be our last night of our new catalog reveal. And tonight we're going to look at the Inked Botanicals Suite. And we're going to recreate 3 of the cards from the catalog. And of course, since it's Wednesday night, you can purchase the kits right and it'll be shipped right to your door. Share this video so you'll have it later. I will also send a link to you with your kit. And that is pretty much it. If you're watching me on YouTube, of course, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'm a little goofy sometimes, but hopefully you like some of the things I create and you can create these too. So let's show you what is in this suite of products. So here are the cards. And we will create this one, and this one tonight. There's that little extra one there. So here are the items that come in this kit. We have paper, which is beautiful, beautiful stuff. I've already used a good bit of it, but there's plenty left. So I did do some swaps for a group. And so these are some of the ones that I have used a bunch of already. And you can see, of course, these are 6x6 papers and they are double-sided. Nice botanical prints, lots of flowers. We do have that very vanilla color, also some of the basic white. So let's just take a look at what these look like, fronts and backs. So this is the front and back of this one. This is the front and back of this one. We have these beautiful colors. We've got this Lost Lagoon with the coral color, Calypso coral. Got a little bit of let's see, what is this color called today? I'm forgetting. I'll remember it in a moment. Get nervous getting on lives and my brain just stops working sometimes. So here is some beautiful ferns. We've got Pool Party, Lost Lagoon, and some basic white on that one, and Crushed Curry on the back. Crushed Curry is by far one of my favorite colors. Same set of colors on the front side here. A little bit of that new wheat color, wild wheat. A little bit more of that with that pale yellow color there. It's almost like a buttery color. I love the Crushed Curry. That is definitely one of my favorites. I'm so happy that it has continued. All right, so I'm going to put this aside. Let's see. Also, again, Petal Pink was the color I could not remember. So we have Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, and Pool Party. Those are the featured colors. Of course, there is the very vanilla and the basic white. Let me get this in here and out of my way for a moment. Put it behind me. All right, so you also will receive, if you buy the entire suite of products, the Lost Lagoon ribbon, which we're going to use in one of our cards this evening. And then we have the stamp set, which is lovely. It is one of the rubber cling sets. Mine is all put together. And then we have our inked and tiled punches, and there are 2 punches. And I highly recommend that while this catalog is current, that you grab the suite or the bundle of products, because you do save 10% when you bundle or buy the bundled savings. So, for example, for the entire suite, you will save 10% here. And then if you were to buy just the stamps and punches bundle, you're also going to save 10% here. Okay. So let's go ahead. We are going to start with this blue one down here. And that means we're going to actually start with a little bit of heat embossing. So I'm going to put down a protective layer today. And I'm pulling in our Embossing Buddy tool set here. Okay. So this is really great, especially if you're doing lots and lots of them. I also like to use this method. And since I have white, which is what I'm going to use, I don't need to use this tray. I have white and clear in these little Gladware containers because it makes it nice and easy for huge quantities when I'm making batches of cards. So we're going to do just a note. And so we're going to grab that one, just a note. And because I am embossing in white, I'm going to go ahead and use the Whisper White ink pad. Remember, when you get this, you have to get this empty pad, and then you fill it with the Whisper White refill ink. Okay, so then it turns into this magicness. Okay. Now, the Embossing Buddy is like a powder. And this is just going to kind of help get rid of any static electricity so that only the embossing ink and powder stick to my paper here. So I just tap, 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 and now I'm going to stamp on here. Just a note, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take my little spoon and pour this right over. Tap that off. I might even just grab a second layer there just to make sure I got it all. I did spill just a tiny bit, but it'll be okay. I will close this up. I'm going to put this aside. All right, so now I have the little tweezers that come with this, and I'm going to plug in my Embossing Buddy, my tool, my heat emboss tool. Now, this tool is pretty cool because it has two different settings. So I can dry ink with the number 1 setting, and I can use the heat for number 2. Now, I don't really have a whole lot to say, but I'm going to go ahead and heat this up for just a second because I'm going to want that to be nice and hot to melt the embossing powder onto my paper. While that's happening, I will just remind you that you can get a set of these materials for free with a $40 purchase. You just want to shop at my site and use my host code. It is in the description. I don't know if you could see how that just turned. Turn that back off. And now I'm just going to wipe that powder off, and you can see that we have this nice embossed area here. I am going to take this and dump it in my trash really quickly because I still have a little bit of powder all over the place. All right. So we're going to use this punch, and we're going to do this a little tricky. So we're doing this not the standard way. So I'm sending this through the punch so that my lettering is kind of centered here. I would have to trim it a little bit more to get that completely centered. So let's do that. I'm just going to trim this off a little bit here so I can put it in the center. I'm going to punch this out. And then I'm simply going to trim away that straight edge. And that is how we get this piece. Okay, so I'm just going to sit this up here. And let's work on this piece right here. So we are using Pool Party, but I'm going to stamp with Lost Lagoon. But I'm going to do a second generation stamp and not a first generation stamp, because I just want it to kind of be pale, but I do want a little bit of that different color. We're just using this little detail decorative stamp here. So I'm going to stamp a little bit on my ink pad, and then I'm going to stamp off on my paper one time. And then I'm just adding some decoration to this, it through the center. Just kind of peeking to see how much they needed on their card so that things could be shown. So I'm just doing a little bit here like this. So I went like this. And I'm actually going to add one little extra piece here just to be on the safe side. I don't know what the safe side is because we're going to put some stuff all through the middle. I really just want to see it on the outside edges. So we are going to need a bow in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this. And snip, and now I have my bow tied, and I'll be able to kind of pull it out of the way with my little with my words that I have already lost, because you know that's the way life goes, right? All right, here we go. I found it. I got it. So now I've got to punch out a few different papers. I'm going to pull them back out, and the card in the catalog shows a couple of different ones. So I'm just going to pull out a couple, and we have 3 of each punch, and I'm not sure about sizing if this would work. Ooh, look at that. You can even use some scraps. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and punch out one of these. And let's see how the back looks. Let's do a couple different ones. All right, so I have this one. So I'll punch out one of these. Probably use the back of that one. Oh, this looks like a nice bright one. I think we'll use this star looking punch for this one. This is probably the hardest part of the whole card, is deciding what to punch out and what not to punch out, right? All right, so I do like this one. Let's see. Punch that out on that side. So I have 2 of each so far, and I need 3 of each. So let's do one of these like that, and one more to do the hole. Let's see. I'm gonna do this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I need a star. I need a star. All right. So these do lock. So I can set them aside. I can stand them on their end. They work pretty well in multiple ways. So now it is time to put this card together. So we are going to center these, and I'm just going to have, these are going to get popped up, but we're going to lay them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Okay, so let's see, the easiest way to do this, I need to glue something down. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get some of these corner pieces stamped. Get them solidly on here so that it doesn't move around. So now I can come in and I can glue this one down. And then I can come in and glue this one down. Now I'm going to take these and put them on dimensionals. And get these popped up for some interest, some shading. And I'm just going to line that up and make sure it's in the right place. Just like that. Now I need to add my bow, which I'm going to try to see if I can get it without as many twists and turns in it here. Okay, this looks better. Sometimes you just have to start over. So let's add this with a glue dot. I'm going to put this right on the glue dot here. Hi, Becky. I'm glad you were able to make it. I'm poking this one right here, and then I'm going to add this with 2 little teeny tiny dimensionals, or you could cut one. We can cut one of these in half. So that we have both sides of this propped up. You call them snot dots. Yeah, they are. They are kind of like snot dots, aren't they? What a great name for them. All right, I'm going to leave that one up because that's just how it's going to be. And then we are putting that right there. And that is our finished cased card from page 94 of our catalog. So, I mean, pretty close, not too bad. All right, so that's card number 1. I'm going to set that one aside. And I have this one ready for card number 2. So let's go ahead and do that one. So we are going to use some of that beautiful ribbon. Our sentiment is going to be, hey friend. I have the Calypso Coral card base, and then I changed it up a little bit, and we're going to make this the next layer. So we're going to trim with our Stampin' Trimmer here. And I'm going to do the standard inside layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4. That card base was 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So 4 by 5 1/4 gives me a nice little matted edge all around that card base. I'll move this aside for a moment. Move a few things out of the way as well. So let me go ahead and adhere this layer right here. So you can see it's got a really nice border all the way around it. Shows that color nicely. All right, so now we have some extra pieces. So I'm going to use the back of this, and I'm simply going to cut like a 1 by 3 for a layer. I don't truly know exactly what the measurements are, so I'm kind of guesstimating here. So 1 by 3. And I think that'll be okay. Might have been 3 1/2, so we'll just leave it at that for now, 1 by 3. And then we've got this polka dot that they used, and I'm going to show you a trick. So we are going to we're going to punch out one of these. And then we're going to cut it in half. But first, we're going to trim this off. So we're taking 1 point from each side off. Okay. And then we're going to trim this right down the middle. I don't even think I need to use the trimmer for that. So I just used scissors and cut that. This is going to go like this on here in just a moment. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our stamping. And I'm going to use that Lost Lagoon again, and we're going to do Hello Friend. And then we will cut a star out of that. Hello Friend. Okay. Now we'll take our punch. And we're going to punch Hello Friend just like this. So now we're going to kind of layer these pieces. So we'll start with this one. We're going to go ahead and adhere this one directly onto the card base, making sure it is opening in the right direction. Okay. Then we're going to add a little bit of adhesive to these outer edges. I'm going to actually save my paper just a tiny little bit. Good thing I checked that out, because I want to get just these little triangle pieces on each side. Use that silicone mat, saves your paper. You can use it over and over. So now I'm just going to use this to line this up just like that. I'm going to do this side. I'm lining up these edges as well so that it almost looks like a continuous piece. Okay, so now I'll move this out of the way, and I will put a little bit of adhesive down here. This is going to be to hold our ribbon. And I'm simply going to take my ribbon and kind of make like a Z on the side. So kind of going up, and I'm going to zigzag it down just a little bit. And then I will zigzag it over here just a little bit. And then I am going to snip this at an angle so it doesn't fray too badly. And I can always adjust this, make it tighter, loosen it up a little bit, whatever needs to happen. And then I'm going to add this on dimensionals. And I could have put that down lower now that I'm looking at it on the catalog, but I think it's going to be okay. So I am going to use 3 full size for this, just to make sure that it has enough sticky to stay on the ribbon and the background here. So just kind of centering that over that, pulled that up. It's real life. Okay. Push that back down. I might spread it out just a little bit. There we go. And make sure you can see. Okay, so there is that one, and there are some little gems on there, so I will probably add a couple of little gems later. Again, this whole thing could be moved down. The one in the catalog shows theirs down just a tiny bit more than I did. Again, there's no card police. So I will add some gems to that later. All right, so we have one more card to create, and it is this one right here, this Lots of Love. So we do use similar techniques. So let me grab another piece of Very Vanilla for the inside. This one does not use heat embossing, however, but I am going to pull out Calypso Coral for the stamping for our Lots of Love. So on the first card, we did this method and they did it twice, so we're going to do it twice. So we have Lots of Love, and we're going to stamp that with the Calypso Coral. Right in the middle. And then we're going to use that technique, excuse me, where we punch and then trim again. So I might need to trim this off over here so that I can get this lined up. Might have to trim some more, not sure. Nope, I've got it. So you can see that it fits in there. You know, I used to not use a lot of Very Vanilla, but I have been using a lot more of it lately. I'm trying to think of what was another recent set that we had that I used a lot of Very Vanilla. It just depends. Oh, the fishing set uses a lot of Very Vanilla in the colors of the DSP. So that's kind of sort of what dictates it for me. Okay, so I'm going to set the lots of love aside. So we are going to do tone on tone, and then we're going to emboss this layer right here. So I have petal pink paper and I have petal pink ink, and I am going to use, I think I want to use this flower here. And I'm just going to kind of create an all over tone on tone design here. So I really like this flower. I just love this whole stamp set, honestly. And this is just going to offer a really nice texture later, an extra layer of interest and dimension when we stick this through the embosser. All right, so let's put this aside. So now I have this little tone on tone design. And now I'm going to run this through the embossing machine. So I'm going to fold this so that my embossing machine has a nice sturdy place to rest. And we are going to use the exposed brick folder. So I do have to use the larger one in order to run this folder through. But I love, love, love this folder. Okay, so I've got my sandwich. This is a 3D, so I actually need to swap out some plates. I'll say, hold a moment, like my friend Melissa. Please hold. Even though I thought I had all the right parts out, I had to go get the embossing sandwich folder. All right, and then we'll run this through. It is definitely one of my favorites, and every time we have a new catalog come out and they say something is gone, it's like heartbreaking. And then they introduce something like this, and it is just so pretty. Okay, so let's continue. So we're going to add this layer with some dimensionals. Just pop that up just a little bit. Excellent. All right, my fingers are working today. So I gotta, yeah, I don't know. I guess there's two different sides. I could have done the other side too. Something to play around with. All right, so always check the direction of your card base. Don't be like me, where sometimes it's upside down and I have to use the undo and turn it right side up. All right, so now I am going to trim. And I hadn't decided exactly which one, but I think we're going to use two different ones because I just want to be special. So we're going to do 3 of these. 1, 3. And then we will do 1 of these with this really cool star punch. And you know what? I think I just punched them. So I don't want to have a hole through a million of my papers. So let's try to keep the holes in one sheet. Look at that. Sometimes my brain does work, but not always, so don't get too excited. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so tricky trying to figure out which colors I want to show. All right, here we go. We're going to do that one. Half of it's covered anyway with the sentiment, so I really shouldn't be that worried about it. This is where you can derail yourself in the world of crafting. You get stuck on the decisions. You just have to do it. Just do it. Okay. So some of these are going to kind of hang off the edge. So they are going to be put on. I'm going to use glue because of the texture that I have here. So, and I'm going to glue like the bottom half. Oh, I moved out of the camera. Sorry. So I'm put glue on the bottom half, and I am just simply placing this so that it is going to stick on this texture, but it's going to hang off the edge just a little bit. So again, a little bit of glue goes a long way. And put that on there, and one more with glue. So they have one way over here. Okay, so I have 3 of the 4. So now I'm going to prop this one up on dimensionals. We'll use 2 for this one. And it's going to cover my flower. And then we're going to add another set of dimensionals here, or you can trim. I think I have some trim started. So 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Can you tell I'm a preschool teacher? All right, so that's what you do when you pull and you end up pulling the top off and it doesn't come right off the bottom. So you just put this on here and then you can pull that off. And obviously I cut too much and it just wants to pull that layer. There we go. So now we will add lots of love right here. And again, they add a little bit of gems. And I will do that before I photograph them for the website. So I hope that you have enjoyed my messy space and all of the cards from the catalog. So again, this is the Inked Botanicals Suite. If you're watching me on replay, let me know. Thank you, Rebecca. I think they were gorgeous and they were pretty easy to do. So again, you can get the materials free with purchase, or for $20, I will send you kits that will make 6 cards, 2 each of the 3 designs that we did. And that is it for this evening. I hope that you will like and follow and share and let your friends know about me. And I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye, Rebecca.